Now, unfortunately, the weather hasn't been favourable this week for gardening, but that hasn't stopped Derek.
No, he is in Emo Court in County Laois this morning and enjoying some gardening and learning about protecting your flowers from slugs and snails.
How are you getting on, Derek?
Yes, good morning, guys. Well, finally, Martin and Eric, as you mentioned there, lads, the sun is shining. Welcome down here to beautiful Emo Court in Gardens in the heart of the Midlands in County Laois. Brian Burke is with us, our gardener extraordinaire. Good morning to you, Brian.
How are you, Derek?
How are you, sir? And look, it's been so wet over winter and spring. I mean, it's been a real tough time for gardeners, hasn't it?
It absolutely has. We've gone from one extreme to another. We had a long winter, very wet spring, and the last few weeks have been beautifully dry, you know. So that's created a perfect storm for growth. Look around you here in the wall garden in Emo Court, you can see things bursting into life. Grass is growing, weeds are growing, of course, as well, which is a bit of a problem, but everything is suddenly burst into life, you know.
Which is good, and about time, I suppose, as well.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into what's in front of us, will you talk us through Emo Court and Gardens? It's beautiful here in the heart of the Midlands.
I'm in Emo Court and Gardens. It's the jewel in the crown of County Laois, you know. It's a fabulous resource for local residents, and people come from afar as well, you know. It's a great facility for families, for visitors. A lot of history here. The house was built in 1790. It was designed by James Gandon, who designed the Customs House in Dublin, you know, so a lot of prestige there. Built in 1790, not finished for about 100 years until the 1890s. Earl of Portarlington lived here. It was a Jesuit seminary in the 1950s. It then was taken over by an English gentleman by the name of Cholmondeley Harrison, and he gave it to the state in the early 1990s when he moved back to the UK, and it's been available as a public resource managed by the OPW ever since, and as you can see, they do a fabulous job with it.
Absolutely incredible. All right, now let's get into soil, and we have different soil types here in front of us this morning. Let's kick off with soil type A.
Soil type A, so you can tell by the look of it, and again, this is something that we need to educate ourselves a little bit on. The type of soil that you have will determine what you can grow, and people tend to regard soil as one generic thing, but there are subtle differences. So that, as you can see, is quite lifeless, quite pale in colour, quite stony. So it's not very fertile. Move to this one here and you can see the distinct difference in tone. So this is more loamy, right? So soil is composed primarily of mineral particles, sand, silt and clay. And a good proportion of those three particles is 40% sand, 40% silt and 20% clay. And that's quite close to that.
Okay,
that's
so
good
that's
growing
ideal
soil.
now.
That's good growing soil.
Okay, great.
And you can see the difference again in colour and texture there. If you pick up some of that, you can see all the sand in it. You know, you can
so
actually
that's very
pick out
light,
the
isn't
particle.
it?
That's very, very light. So what's going to happen to that when you water it or you feed it? It's going to leach a lot of nutrients. It's going to run through. It's going to drain too much, you know. And then we're on to our organic material here. So this is compost, green waste, manure, etc. That's good. That's good, has good nutrient holding capacity. So a mixture of some of that material with that will give you an ideal proportion of soil.
Okay,
good
so
growing
2
material.
with 4 basically.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's the perfect harmony.
Yeah.
In terms of feeding your soil, then it's so important to get it right.
Absolutely, and I mean, like there's various ways to feed. If you garden in pots and containers, you're liquid feed, right? So seaweed-based feed. Beautiful product, harvested on the west coast of Ireland, nature safe, circular economy, replenishable, renewable material, cold pressed to extract the goodness, full of micronutrients, macronutrients, enzymes and trace elements. Will also activate your soil biome, activate bacteria, fungi, invertebrates, protozoans, all those things that are very active in those chemical cycles, the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle. Soil enrichment, you won't do any better than this. Liquid feed, great for pots and containers, and then the granular feed for plants that are established in the ground, about 50 grams per square metre around the base of your plants.
My ferns are drinking this at the moment anyway, so that's good.
Yeah.
And they're thriving. Seeds. It's now the time to get your seeds into the ground, right?
Absolutely. We've gone past the landmark date of May the 10th, which is a date that gardeners put in their calendar. So now we're beyond that. You can put stuff straight outside, you know. So sunflowers, tomatoes, beetroot, your simple entry-level veg. If people are starting, I always say to them, go with things like easy stuff like spinach, like kale, like radish, like beetroot. Big seeds, easy to manage, easy to handle, easy to grow.
Cucumbers. I didn't know we could grow cucumbers here.
Oh, we can, yeah. Now, they will still need a bit of heat.
Yeah,
They'll still need a bit of heat. They'll need a bit of protection, but it is possible, yeah.
It is possible, yeah. And of course, sunflowers are beautiful when they come up, aren't they?
Great to get kids into gardening.
Yeah.
Sunflowers, because they look, it's an otherworldly thing. It's so tall and crazy looking. and they love watching it and measuring it and watching the progress.
Another issue is always slugs and snails. We're dealing with them all the time. I mean, they are hungry, but we hopefully can keep them at bay.
Absolutely. So slugs and snails, right? It's a perennial problem, pardon the pun, particularly if you're dealing with a plant like hosta, right? So it's a big leaf, and if you grow brassicas, anything that's in the brassica family, cabbage, things like that, big leaves are a big attraction for slugs. Always an issue with how to deal with them. Nature Safe again make this product. It's crushed oyster shell, right? So again, it's replenishable, it's renewable, it's part of that circular economy, and it's solving a real problem for gardeners. It's also going to transmit nutrients down into the ground, your calcium and your magnesium. Over time, that's going to transmit its goodness down into the soil. So create a circle of that around the plant that you want to protect. Slugs won't cross it because it's gritty material, you know?
Okay, great.
So it's brilliant. It's solving a lot of problems, and it's a light touch. It's a lower impact way of dealing with it.
We're going to plant this before we wrap up.
We're going to plant this.
Brian,
okay, so let's get our pot out.
Getting the pot right and getting the right amount of compost is important, isn't it?
Exactly. Get your compost ready. Depot your plant. You can do it, Derek.
Okay, there we go. And this is a beautiful hosta.
It's a beautiful hosta. And this is one that the slug and snail protection will work really well on.
Would you break up the roots, yeah?
You can tease them out slightly.
Tease them out slightly, yeah.
Okay, now you want to get your root flare, the top of your root, just below the level of your pot. So that's sitting about right. Centre it in the pot. And then just fill around with your compost. So drop it in. You firm it in as we go there, Derek.
Obviously, Bloom is kicking off as well in 2 weeks' time. You're going to be down there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Bloom. It's the 20th year of Bloom this year, so it's a big deal. And there's going to be a lot going on. As usual, the show gardens are the jewel in the crown, but there's a lot more than that.
All right.
And we're going to feed our hosta with our seaweed feed. We're going to drop 25 mil into 5 litres. And we're going to hit it, and we're going to stand back and watch it grow.
I'm going to bring this one home. Brian Burke, thank you so much. Gorgeous to see the sun shining here in Emo Court in County Laois. From everyone here in the heart of the Midlands, back to studio in Dublin. That's
absolutely gorgeous down there.
Looks beautiful.
Sun shining. It's freezing.
We all need to go to emo, folks. Still to come on Ireland AM, she starred in the Irish Gangland series that has clocked up more than 4 million lifetime streams. Kid actress Claire Dunn will be here.
And we'll be joined by some of Ireland's women's team ahead of their Six Nations game this weekend, which is expected to draw a crowd of almost 30,000.
Plus on the catwalk, we're manifesting warm weather with shorts. We're back with you very shortly.